Hey there, welcome to Sengoku Dynasty Review. The game just had its full release a couple of days ago and I played it a lot. Why? Well, to bring you an honest review. If you like the video after seeing it, consider subscribing for more. For those who don't know, Sengoku Dynasty is a survival city builder, very similar to Medieval Dynasty, but is it worth getting it? Let's have a thorough look at everything the game has to offer, starting with graphics and performance. I'll start with the good, which is graphics and visuals. The map is crafted with a lot of care and different seasons give life to the lands we explore. For some reason I found winter especially stunning with its white covered lands and snow everywhere, but everything just had this special feel about it, be it spring or winter. You see the changes in flora and some flowers start to wither as some start to grow, and the exploration is never dull. Player character and NPCs are okay, nothing exceptional, but this isn't a high budget title and the visuals definitely hold up. But there's a slight problem here with performance which fluctuates wildly. First time I started playing, performance was abysmal, no matter the settings, and recording was practically impossible. After quitting and reloading though, the problem went away, but the performance overall wasn't exactly stellar. There were times when a whole session went without problems and there was no frame drops or performance issues, but then I'd start the game anew and it was nothing but issues, which takes away from an otherwise very pleasant experience. My system isn't the worst, so I can't imagine people with older systems run this game. Optimization at the moment is poor. It did improve from early access, but it's still a long way from being good, and it does affect the player experience a lot. Next up, we'll check the gameplay. You start out with nothing but your rags on you, and you have to survive and adapt to the challenges of this new place you shipwrecked on. Pick up some stone to craft your first axe and you're on your way. And then hours passed by. Sengoku Dynasty is very addicting when it works properly, and you'll have drive to always explore and find something new, find refugees for the village you have to manage, and build a village and later on more than one of your dreams. As in any survival game, you'll unlock new, better tools than measly stone ones you get at the beginning. Hours in, you'll upgrade to bronze and be able to mine iron, but it still won't be enough. There's so much more to uncover. Sengoku Dynasty does a great job to keep you going, and the balance between progression and not getting bored is almost perfect. Add the exploration to the mix and you have a game full of surprises even hours into the game. I set an objective for myself but then ended up doing something completely different. I don't know why, but hunting in these kind of games is always a blast, and instead of looking for other villages, as I was supposed to, I spent days hunting deer, hares and other animals. Well, that's until I got chased away by a black bear, which at the time was more than me and my started bow could handle. So I worked hard on getting better armor, and when I made my first full bronze set, I felt like I achieved something. The black bear still wrecked me up close though. But with my newly made katana, I could take any other challenge I wanted to. Well, that was until I took care of my villagers' needs. You see, you're responsible for the lives of any refugees you send to your village. They'll have needs too, as you do: food, a place to stay, and living in peace. They're quite content staying unemployed and freeloading just like your regular internet influencer, so if you don't assign them to a post, they'll do nothing and leave you to take care of their needs. But some light management and you'll have a well-running village in no time. And you want that because crafting new, better gear, which breaks after some time, takes resources, and believe me, you won't be smelting and mining ore on your own unless you have a lot of time and patience. Later on, when you level up yourself and your dynasty, you can also decide to get married and have a child, which I didn't do yet because I am a free spirit and a child is very expensive. Last but not least, you will need more than one village, especially because not all of the resources are available in one region. Mining, for example, is only available for the ore which is in the same region as your village, so you can't just run one mining operation for all your ore needs. Now let's talk about combat for a bit, because it is an important part of the game. At first you have a feeling it's quite clunky, but I think that was made on purpose. Even at the beginning I was able to best 1 or 3 enemies at once, and once I got hold of parry, there was no stopping me. Combat is actually pretty fun once you get a hold of it, and there is a lot of strategies you can use to clear out the camp and their leader for some sweet loot. You have ranged, heavy and light weapons at your disposal to slaughter your way to peace and liberation. Every region is contested and you have to liberate it either by building a special building, destroying people, or both. Liberation also grants you access to better equipment, so it's mandatory to do it. There is a strange bug though, sometimes your enemies will just stand there and take your beating for some reason. Maybe they just gave up on life. All in all, gameplay elements are fun and you can get lost in the world of Sengoku Dynasty pretty fast. Music and sound are up next. For the most part, music and sound are very good. I especially liked strolling through the forest and hearing different animals, not just because it gives away their position so you can slay them for your pleasure, but because it makes the atmosphere really nice, and sometimes you just want to sit in nature and listen to it without going outside for real, because that takes too much effort. Music is good, of course it's subject to personal preference. If you like Asian music, you will like it a lot. For me personally, it's good and it does the job. But is it worth buying now? So what we have are two completely different experiences. On one hand, we have a game which can keep your attention for a whole day and you'll still want more. But that is if it works properly. I didn't mention minor bugs which don't really affect the gameplay, like when you fall and take damage, you're a bit stuck in the position you fell, but if you sprint it fixes you again. But performance issues are glaring and can take away a lot of enjoyment out of the game, which otherwise is really good. The question is it worth buying despite those issues? Well, if you have 13th or 14th generation i7 or i9 processor from Intel, I'd say wait a bit, because by admission of the developers, the game can crash on those CPUs. Otherwise, give it a try. I'd say if you're just playing the game and not recording, you should be okay with performance, although I'd expect some slowdowns at times, but nothing too serious. Sengoku Dynasty really is a good game worth playing, so yes, I would recommend it, but I'd also urge the developers to fix performance issues so everyone can enjoy the game. I have some recommendations if you like those kind of games, and before I get accused of saying you should play this game instead of Sengoku Dynasty, these are general recommendations if you like the genre. Medieval Dynasty is of course a top contender here, more polished, and it does run better, but it's also older, so that's understandable. The setting is different too, but if your mind is not set on it being a 100% Japanese setting, Medieval Dynasty is a great choice. And if you like survival games and are not afraid of water, Raft is an absolute must-have. It's a great game and you will forget about time while playing. While the storyline is a bit meh, everything else is great. I had llamas on my Raft. Which other game lets you do this? I think there's none. So Raft, even though a bit older, is still worth getting. You heard what I think, but what's your opinion? Do you think Sengoku Dynasty is worth your time, or maybe it just doesn't cut it? Comment down below and let me know. Subscribe if you want, like the video, and don't miss out on upcoming reviews. Stalker 2 is coming up soon. That's it. Goblin out. Bye.